Eric Ten Hag will be one of the first managers to get sacked this season, or at least compared to the other top six managers, I think he will be the first to go. A lot of people have been critical of Eric Ten Hag last year and even the year before, you know, saying he's not good enough and he should not be manager of Manchester United. I always thought Ten Hag was the right man for Manchester United. Not because I'm a Liverpool fan and I want Manchester United to fail, I always thought that he's a good coach who just does not have the tools that he needs to succeed. Because to compete in the Premier League, you need more than just a good first 11. And last season, you have to say that a lot of his players were injured, and the ones that came in, the likes of Maguire, McTominay, they're not good enough. I'm not sure these players have the ability to do what Ten Hag wants, right? So Ten Hag still needed a few more transfer windows to sign the players that can play his football, so that if a player gets injured, whoever is coming in as a replacement is good enough to do what Ten Hag wants. We even saw this last season with Spurs, right? Postecoglou had a really, really good first 11, and a lot of Spurs fans were excited that they were in a title race. I always thought there is no chance they'll be in a title race because injuries are bound to happen. And when Van de Ven gets injured or Romero is injured, whoever is coming in is not at that level. He cannot do what Postecoglou wants. So I always knew that the time would come when Postecoglou will need to depend on his bench, and that bench is nowhere near good enough. And that is exactly what happened, right? So Spurs really, really fell down until the likes of Van de Ven, they came back and they steadied the ship. So that's kind of what happened to Manchester United as well, right? The players that Ten Hag wants to be available, they were not really, really available. So he needs to bring in more players. But here is my worry with Ten Hag. Here's my worry. If you look at the players Manchester United have signed, this guy is basically trying to turn Manchester United into an Ajax academy, really. Here is a team that played against Fulham. Onana, former Ajax player. Martinez, Ajax. Mazraoui, Ajax. Is there anyone else in this team? No, let's check the bench, the players who came in. The elite, Ajax, former Ajax player. Who else? I think Anthony as well. All right, former Ajax player. So this for me, when I see this, it's telling me one thing. When Ten Hag came to the Premier League, I think too many people hyped him up as this revolutionary manager. He clearly is not that. There is nothing revolutionary about him. I think he's a bang average manager. And I think Ten Hag knows that. I think he knows that, He knows that he's average, and that is why he is going back to sign players who did well for him. Even though a lot of these players have really, really struggled, right? The elite, I mean, Juventus got rid of him. Now Bayern Munich are also getting rid of him. They've gotten rid of him. So that's two huge European clubs that usually like to keep players unless those players are on a decline or are not performing, right? So that for me does not look good. And also overall, Ten Hag signings have been poor. Onana for me, by the way, Onana is from Cameroon. I'm from Cameroon, okay? So there's no bias here. Onana is my country's first choice goalkeeper. Onana, for me, he's been poor for Manchester United. Fantastic with his feet, but sometimes he lets very, very easy balls go in, and he doesn't even dive, which I find very, very strange. Mazraoui played really, really well against Fulham. Lisandro Martinez, I mean, yes, he's short, but I like him as a player. but majority of Ten Hag signings have not done well, and I cannot. Who has who has improved as a player under Ten Hag since he came to Manchester United? I don't really think anyone has. He doesn't improve players. Nah. So I'm just thinking that right now, Ten Hag signing all these former Ajax players, that's basically a Hail Mary. If you guys don't know what a Hail Mary is, think of a boxing fight, right? Where there is a fighter who's losing, he's pretty much lost every round. And now we are in the 12th round, the final round of the fight, and he's just throwing haymakers, hoping that one is going to land and knock the opponent out, because that's the only way he's going to win. He's losing out. He's losing the fight on points, right? So he needs a knockout to win the fight. So when you throw those haymakers like that, that's a Hail Mary. Ten Hag, for me, signing these players who played well for him about 3, 4, 5 years ago, is kind of a Hail Mary, because every other player is not performing under him. So he's going back to sign players who performed for him previously to keep his job at Manchester United. And for me, I don't know if it's going to work, because I watched the game against Fulham. Listen, okay, I know it's the first game of the season. A lot of players, right? A lot of the first team players have not really had enough of a preseason to be able to perform at the required level on the first game. But you can say the same thing about Liverpool. If you watch Liverpool versus Ipswich, right? A lot of the first team players, Van Dijk, Alisson, even Konate, Trent, McAllister, like Darwin Núñez, like half of that first team or more have only been with Ancelotti for about a week. But Liverpool played really well, especially in that second half against Ipswich. Manchester United struggled at Old Trafford against Fulham, and they scored a lucky goal, really. They got lucky. I thought Fulham deserved to at least have a draw from that game. So I think it's going to be a long season for Manchester United, because for me, their manager, for me, is just an average, a bang average manager. He's not good enough for me, Ten Hag. So let me know in the comment section if you guys agree with me or not. I will see you soon.